I was wasting some time on my lunch break pottering about some shops, and I spotted the Criterion sale and thought, I'll just have a look and see what there is. And before I knew it, I ended up purchasing 1981's Blowout on 4K. Now, it's a movie I've seen before. It's a movie I love. It's one I really enjoy. I hadn't seen it in a number of years. And with the discount, I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this. And it was another one of those movies that when I got home, I eagerly threw it on and thought, let's just do this. Lights out, sound up, great picture on this one, great transfer. And let's just get lost in this world of an audiophile, a man who loves sound, who works within sound, who's researching sounds for a cheap slasher film.
There's someone on the bridge.
Oh, let's not worry about that.
He's staring right at us.
Who cares?
I care.
Betsy.
I don't want to stay here anymore. Let's go.
Jack Terry, John Travolta's character, is out and about one day just recording sounds, trying to pick up interesting little bits, when all of a sudden he captures an accident as a car veers off a bridge into a lake, and he has to dive in and save somebody in there. But when he's listening back to the sound, he realises there's something not quite right, something a little bit different. He starts to theorise that first pop sounds like a gunshot before the tyre bursts, and he gets lost in this conspiracy thriller as he tries to figure out what's going on. Is something going on? Is he the man with the clues? Well, some nefarious force keeps stopping him in his tracks.
They have erased my tapes, they've made you disappear, and next it's going to be me. But I'm not disappearing, I'll tell you that.
It's a wonderful film, and it is simply fantastic, especially with certain aspects. I love the filmmaking in this one. The angles that are chosen are terrific. The idea of the neon lighting, particularly in that final, it's just wonderful. You know, using the idea of the fireworks to create this blue-red lighting that just adds that giallo aspect to it was simply just wonderful. But it's all about Jack, this character whom is an obsessive, and it's someone that I can attune myself to. I can understand being lost in that and just unable to break away from the cycle, constantly repeating, getting lost in a task. Everything else just moves to the wayside, and it's laser focused on this one thing in front. And I think, you know, you've got Travolta here who gives a terrific performance, but there are other people throughout the film that are terrific as well. Nancy Allen is just wonderful as Sally, a call girl, someone who's up to kind of sleazy jobs, but she has a kind of innocence to her at the same time. It's a strange dichotomy within this character, and I think Nancy Allen really pulls it off as this sort of cheery, bright, her cherubic face, but the idea that there's something more behind there. She's a little bit naive, but she's a little bit there in other places as well. You get Dennis Franz, who turns up as just this lascivious, almost tabloid photographer who is setting things up to make a killing. Unfortunately, it's a little bit literal in this sense.
Yeah, well, 3 before and 3 after.
So when are you going to tell me about the 3 after?
After I collected it, when do you think?
Yeah.
Blowout is just one of those wonderful movies, and one of the things that I always admire about it is the sound design. It's a film where the main character, his passion, his work, his obsession is all based around sound, and the way that's created into the film itself is such a touch of magic. It's a terrific creation. There's a standout sequence for me where the camera is just doing a 360 of his studio, and these various sounds are playing, and it's just slowly rotating, and it just becomes a cacophony of sound and distress and just an attack on the senses. The spinning visuals, the sound that's swirling as well. It's just a wonderful idea. I love the conspiracy thriller. It's one of my favourite kind of subgenres where you have this one character that's is hooked on a mystery, and the mystery here is kind of fed to us, I'd say, a little bit earlier than I expected. You start to see all the machinations of what's going on as you realise there's a panic of Jack trying to get to figure out what's going on, and a panic from some of the most nefarious forces in this film as they kind of struggle to tie off all the loose ends. It's an amazing transfer. It's an amazing film. It's so involving and wonderful. Visual and sound come together, and it just creates, well, a little bit of magic. I so happy going back to pick this up. The transfer was fantastic, and the extras on this disc were really great as well. Let's dive in and have a look. First up, we have Noah Baumbach interviewing Brian De Palma. This is from 2010. It runs for 57 minutes, 48 seconds, and I love this conversation. It covers pretty much all facets of the film. This would later evolve into the De Palma documentary where he went through his career, but it's just great having a filmmaker interview another filmmaker about inspirations, why they made certain decisions. It's a great interview. Next up, we have Nancy Allen, which is 25 minutes, 25 seconds, and she touches on a few points of the film, but particularly working with John Travolta, meeting him in Carrie, working together, some of the things that went on in certain scenes, and working with Dennis Franz as well. Next up, we have Garrett Brown interview, which is 15 minutes, 3 seconds, the creator of the Steadicam. And he kind of talks a lot about, what a Steadicam is, the theory of it, why it's almost like a point of view, but skewed cinematic style, and about shooting the opening sequence of Blowout. Then we have a gallery of Lewis Goldman photos. We have Brian De Palma's film, Murder a la Mode, as an extra on the Blu-ray disc. It runs at 1 hour, 20 minutes, 23 seconds. I haven't watched this yet, but I will definitely be checking it out at some point. And the theatrical trailer. Also included in this release is a 34-page booklet with an essay, American Scream, by Michael Schrago, and Portrait of the Artist is a Young Gadgeteer by Pauline Kael. And that's the extras for Blowout. There we have it. Blowout on the Criterion Collection. I would thoroughly recommend this one. It was a little bit unfortunate because now I think I'm going to go back and pick up a few more discs. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on Blowout in the comment box below, whether you love it, hate it, feel somewhere in the middle. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff in the description box below. Our links to Patreon, membership program, manvfilm.com, always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.